When people ask about your childhood, you might freeze. Not because it was terrible and not because nothing happened, but because somewhere between the ages of 7 and 17, something invisible happened. You skipped chapters, pieces of yourself you should have had, moments to be carefree, messy, or simply held were quietly taken from you. Your childhood feels unfinished, like it ended mid-sentence. And that unfinished feeling doesn't just stay in the past, it follows you, quietly shaping everything you do as an adult. It influences the way you move through the world, the way you interact with others, the choices you make, even the way you rest or struggle to. You weren't born serious, you were trained to survive before you learned to play, trained to notice everything, anticipate everything, carry everything, even when no one asked you to. Maybe you didn't see it at the time. Maybe everyone praised you for being mature, strong, independent. But here's the truth nobody tells you. That maturity wasn't growth. It was adaptation. And the adaptations your childhood forced on you, they didn't just disappear when you became an adult. They became the default operating system for your life.
Growing up too early doesn't always look dramatic. It's not a single movie-worthy event. Sometimes it's quiet, almost invisible. Maybe it was making dinner for your siblings at 9 because your parent worked a double shift. Maybe it was translating between your parents during arguments, or learning to read the room before you learned to read chapter books. Those moments didn't feel extraordinary at the time, but they taught you how to survive. Psychologists call this pattern parentification, when a child takes on roles and responsibilities that should belong to adults. But that word feels too clean. What matters is the experience. You became the small person holding up something much bigger than yourself. Your nervous system adapted. Survival became the default, and that lesson stayed with you into adulthood. That adaptation gave you incredible strengths. You read people's emotions with ease. You anticipate needs before they're voiced. Problem solving became second nature because hesitation wasn't an option. You're good in crises, and that capability wasn't accidental, it was forged in environments where mistakes had consequences.
But those strengths come with a cost. What comes easily for you now, resting without guilt, asking for help, being carefree, can feel almost dangerous. Letting your guard down doesn't feel safe because your system learned early that stability depended on your constant vigilance. Relationships often carry echoes of that childhood. You may be drawn to people who need you, or to those who are emotionally distant. It's not that you enjoy imbalance, it's that being needed feels familiar. When care was earned, not given freely, love became something you sought through usefulness. Experiencing consistent, unconditional presence can feel uncomfortable, even wrong, because your system anticipates disappointment. Control becomes essential, not loud or domineering, but quiet and hypervigilant. Planning, overthinking, rehearsing scenarios, it's all part of the survival operating system your childhood built. The exhaustion that comes with this is real, not laziness, not weakness. A nervous system raised in overdrive doesn't fully rest. Sleep doesn't reset the tension because rest once meant chaos. And despite it all, society often rewards people who grew up too early. You're productive, reliable, independent, and low maintenance. The world admires your competence, but rarely asks what it cost you to become this way. Beneath that capability, there's often quiet loneliness. You might be surrounded by people and still feel alone because no one sees the effort it takes to keep everything running smoothly. Asking to be seen can feel like admitting failure.
So, how do you move forward? The first step is grief. The quiet mourning of the childhood you didn't get to have. That version of you could have been messy, needy, and still been loved. Recognizing that doesn't make you bitter, it makes you honest. The second step is unlearning the dangerous equation that being needed equals being valued. Your worth isn't measured by what you do or how well you manage others' emotions. You are allowed to rest without earning it. You're allowed to receive without proving anything. You're allowed to let someone else carry the weight, even if you're not good at it yet. You're a beginner at being taken care of, and that's okay. The child who grew up too early did an extraordinary job surviving. They were brave, resourceful, and strong beyond measure. But you don't have to run the system anymore. It's safe to loosen your grip. It's safe to be soft, even if you're late to it. You've been holding on long enough. What would it feel like to finally let go and let someone else take over for a while? If this resonates with you, consider subscribing and joining for deeper explorations. You're not alone, even if it felt that way growing up.